A pretty unique thing about being a YouTuber is that people will just randomly make videos about you, and apparently I'm no exception. So I wanted to react to this video called The Truth About Carthu's Dojo by Big Nose Saiyan, and cover some of the misinformation in it. I've already seen this video, to be fair. I just wanted to record this so that way there's a public correction to a lot of the stuff in it. Not because it was malicious or anything, but just so you guys know a bit more about me and accurately.
This is Carthu's Dojo,
Correct.
one of the most popular Dragon Ball YouTubers in the entire world.
So something weird about that statement, I know I'm pausing so quickly, but something weird about the statement of one of the most popular Dragon Ball YouTubers in the entire world is I don't feel like it. Sometimes it's like hard for me to even remember that I'm like a 1 million subscriber YouTuber. And I'm like decently past 1 million subscribers at this point. It's kind of weird to like have this sort of, you know, level of quote unquote achievement that people ascribe to you. I feel personally not very different. I don't think it's changed my lifestyle that much. I mean, obviously, besides it being my job, but it was my job before I was one of the, you get what I mean. Hi? Hi?
Carthu wasn't always successful.
True.
You see, he was a small creator with a very big dream. He pushed through.
When I first watched this, I remember being like a little taken aback by this because I'm pretty public facing about why I started Dragon Ball YouTube. And the real reason was ultimately, in my personal life, I knew a lot about Dragon Ball. I was very into it. And I would like watch videos and read some interviews and, you know, knew a few things from the guidebooks, not everything, but a bit. And so I would have conversations with people who also just watched the show, and we'd be at a disconnect to the point that I was explaining to them rather than having a full-on conversation, you know, theory crafting, right? Around this time, Dragon Ball Super was still ending. It was close to the end, but it was still airing. So theories and stuff were being thrown out there and whatever. And I just had no one to fully deep dive that stuff with. So I made my YouTube channel specifically to get comments, because commenters who found a niche Dragon Ball theory video might be able to actually have a conversation with me, and I could reply to the comments. And I replied to the comments, every comment, for a very long time in my YouTube career. I obviously can't do that now, but I try my best.
But with perseverance
Kind of weird way to put it.
Passion for Dragon Ball, Carthu would not only save his own dreams, but he would eventually save the entire Dragon Ball community.
That's a bit extreme. I would not say that. I think that's such an extreme over-exaggeration. I think I am part of the community. I am no greater than, you know, any fan who wants to talk about the series on Twitter, you know, casually and have a great time. I don't think there's any sort of superiority here. I do think, you know, sometimes I could jokingly maybe say like, you gotta watch it subbed or read the manga, right? But in reality, I think we're all Dragon Ball fans and we enjoy what we enjoy. I kind of made that point in the power levels video, right? About power scalers and just enjoying the series in a different way. I think fundamentally there's nothing wrong with people enjoying the series however they want, and no one is above each other in this fandom. I would say that's absurd.
This all started in spring, May 2nd, 2017.
Correct.
Even before Dragon Ball was at its prime. At just 21 years old.
I don't know if I would say before its prime. You know, we were towards the end of the Tournament of Power and stuff. Did we get more Dragon Ball fans from 2 movies and a monthly manga in that time span, right? This is pre-Daima. I don't think so. Maybe like more people were watching YouTube content because they had no main series content to consume. That's possible, but you know, I think during the Tournament of Power was probably the peak.
Carthu Dojo, the young legend has entered.
That is not my email, by the way.
Let me rewind a bit. In an interview, Carthu said himself, I've tried making videos on YouTube since 2009 and across multiple channels.
Yeah.
At first, they were very cringy comedy videos.
Yep.
Then a Bakugan channel. Yep. Then a World of Warcraft channel. Yep. And then a Dragon Ball channel. That Dragon Ball channel, Carthu's Dojo.
Correct.
Now, the legend has entered YouTube. But
so yeah, I've been making videos since 2009. These channels, at least a couple of them, are still on the website. You can find them. You won't, because they don't have any association to my name or anything, but they do exist. They are cringy. I was a child. And I was a child that had like, you know, one of those video recorders with the flip out USB stick, and I would edit them in Windows Movie Maker. It was a time to be alive.
There's one more secret information about him. How did he come up with his name? In an interview, he said, Carthu is a name that I've used as an online alias since my...
I actually really quickly want to interject here, because this video, like I said, will have some level of misinformation in it. Something important to note, my DMs on Twitter are open. If you are going to make something like this, you can DM me. If I miss it, it is what it is, make your video, whatever. But you could at least attempt to ask the questions and get answers. So that way you're not wrong in the video. That's supposed to be the truth about Carthu's Dojo. I mean, it is kind of funny. I get to farm a video out of it, so I guess thank you for that at least.
Early days playing World of Warcraft. It came from a random name generator in the game that I then altered to Carthu for a better sound. I believe the original auto-generated name was something like Carthu. Dojo was just a part of the martial arts aspect of Dragon Ball. So Carthu's Dojo was born.
Yes.
He finally uploaded for the very
Old
first
Carthu
time on his
PNG.
new
This is partially traced Toyotaro artwork. I know, kill me, I traced. I admit it though. I didn't know much about like art and stuff. I didn't have money to commission anything. I was still working at Bed Bath & Beyond back then. And I had an iPad. I traced the body from the Toyotaro artwork for Resurrection F, I believe. And then I referenced hair and like face and stuff from elsewhere, I believe. But, you know, it's been so long, I don't remember. This is the original Carthu. I drew. You know what I mean? I drew it the way a 5-year-old, you know, draws something by putting the coloring book underneath and drawing over the lines, basically.
The first video was long before full-time content creation or even...
I never thought, can I really do this? I had fun making videos, so I made videos. I didn't ever pursue it as a career until it basically was already a career, if that makes sense.
Possibility of that dream. And back at that time,
actually more nuance to that. I didn't pursue it as a full-time career until COVID because my job as security, it was for Broadway shows at the time. And so because my job was basically gone, I just went full-time on YouTube. It happened to correlate that I was making at least a decent amount of money from YouTube and I couldn't do my full-time job at that point.
Going to college and on top of that working full-time was a pain.
I was not working full-time during college. I worked part-time during college. I would not have time to work full-time during college. I had a 2-hour commute to my college. Well, it was a 1.5 to 2 hour commute to my college each way. So about 4-ish hours of my day, give or take, depending on the day, 3 to 4 hours, were gone, eviscerated by a bus ride. And so on the bus, I would work on like video scripts and stuff on like an iPad, but I would manage my time appropriately to make videos happen because I liked it. And also they weren't that heavily edited, let's be honest, they weren't that good.
There's only so much he can focus on. He'd struggle to post more than one video a week due to time. Aside from Carthu being new to the YouTube game, YouTube was also a much smaller platform than it is now, making it much harder to grow on. But
I don't know if that's true. I don't think that's true. I think YouTube's algorithm, more importantly, was different back then in the sense that right now, if you go to the YouTube homepage, I think in the first 12 results, you'll probably see a channel that has a video with less than 1,000 views be recommended to you. That's sort of tangentially relevant to what you like. YouTube, I think, implemented that post TikTok really. But back in the day, I mean, I think it was very, very hard, unless you were super, super specific in what topics you were hitting to get like search traffic to initially boost the video, you would just not grow. It was a different beast. I actually think if you want to become a YouTuber, now is a great time. I think a lot of small YouTube channels are just growing on their own as long as they're making good and interesting content.
Stop him. There's been many YouTubers who inspired him. The first person
Mr. Beast is not one of my inspirations, by the way.
Call of Duty legend, Raidaway.
This is funny. Okay, this is the funniest part of this video to me. So that's Raidaway, Richard Raidaway, my friend Rich. I'm hanging out with Rich this Saturday after this video goes out, okay? Like, Rich is an IRL friend of mine, as of now anyway, not whenever back then. But I didn't know about Raidaway or Rich before I started my YouTube channel or anything. I'm assuming what happened is that Big No Say in here saw me jokingly tweet at some point to Rich that he's my biggest inspiration as a joke. I didn't know him as a YouTuber before I met him and I was already established. So me and Rich joke about this all the time, but it is really funny to perpetuate that. Again, something an interview would easily clear up or asking me questions would easily clear up because you're just doing like half-baked research on this, unfortunately.
Next is Geekdom 101.
Kind of true. I watched a bit of Geekdom stuff back in the day. I did find it pretty helpful for very niche topics. I've never been the biggest fan of like episode reviews, to be honest. Maybe I've watched a few of them, but his in-depth stuff I thought was great. I think that GT video specifically, or maybe it was the Cartoon Network Toonami video, one of those I really liked.
Then Clawman and
Quaman is 100% correct. I think even in my name, you can kind of see it. His @ is Quaman's Land, Carthu's Dojo, Quaman's Land. I think there's a very obvious connection in some area there. Yeah, but Black and Fist, actually, I just never watched Black and Fist. I never got into Black and Fist's content. Not out of like, I didn't like it or anything. I literally just never got around to watching it. I think maybe I just never got fed it algorithmically back in the day. I have many YouTubers that I think inspired me in a lot of ways. And I think most of them aren't in the Dragon Ball community for sure. So maybe one day I'll think about that and like write down who actively inspired me and my style and everything on YouTube. It's a bit more nuanced than just, 3 Dragon Ball creators and my IRL friend Rich.
After uploading a few videos, one of them finally exploded in views.
So at the time, this video popped like crazy. I remember making like $900 on YouTube or something, not from 130K views. I think it has more views than that. Does it have more than 130K? Let me check real quick, hold on. Okay, I just checked. It's 337K, which is 99% when it came out. That video made me like $900 or something, and I was like, oh shit, you can make YouTube money, huh? I was a big spender for a little bit, part-time job having ass. So this video, though, realistically shows exactly what I said earlier. People were searching evil Grand Priest plan, and I wouldn't have made this if I couldn't have formulated a theory I thought kind of made sense. And it's one of my favorite videos I've ever made, even though it's completely wrong, let's be honest. Just like my Neva video recently. Completely wrong, and that's fine. The fun of theories is theorizing, not being right. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. But this video absolutely popped, and it's mainly because people were searching for this. And then after people were searching for it, it was like, oh, people are watching this. Let's serve it algorithmically. Because that's how YouTube used to work in the day. It was very search-centric. It's very much so less search-centric nowadays.
The Grand Priest plan revealed Dragon Ball Super Theory. 130,000 views was a dream that never seemed real. That one
I didn't say 130,000 views. That must have been like in some amount of time. I don't know when it got 130K. To be like that I don't know why he's hyper fixated on that view count.
To more traction on his channel. September 20th, 2017 was just the beginning. From 0 to 1,000 subscribers in 5 months. The 2009, 13 years old Carthu Dojo would have never predicted this.
Right.
Also, being a YouTuber comes with benefits. You get fans, money, and popularity.
Right.
However, Carthu's reason to start his channel was from pure passion. He had a very specific goal. With each video he posted, it was primarily to create conversations and gather everyone's thoughts in the comments. He wanted a community. Most YouTubers in the past, and even today.
Okay, so I'm glad he mentioned it now, but in the beginning, he does make it look like, oh, he's got the money eyes emoji. Oh, he wants that cheddar. No, I really did it out of a community building aspect, and not even to build a community, but just to find the community.
Might respond to a comment. If they do respond, then the conversation may never truly continue. Not only that, Carthu has a creative mind that attracted thousands of people. Day by day, he continuously grew, posting 1 or 2 videos a week. After all, he was still in college and working. He stuck with his roots and trusted making Dragon Ball.
I was so proud of this animated intro. You have no idea. My ass thought I cooked, I ate, I left no crumbs. Because if you look, the shadow also like grows a bit and shrinks as it.
In his 1,000 subscriber special, he wanted to branch out to other anime like Naruto, Hajime no Ippo, One Punch Man, Hunter x Hunter, and My Hero Academia.
It's actually really funny I said this and never did it. I think the reason I never did it is actually purely a lack of time. If I had no part-time job and I was just a full-time college student with the commute where I could like research and write, and then could research and write at home and like on days off from school, this probably would have happened.
Out of all these anime, he was a big fan of My Hero Academia. He enjoyed the idea of combining Western and Eastern ideas. Also,
did I say that ever? I don't think I did. Also, Ugly AI.
So Hunter x Hunter was in line with his favorites because it breaks down humanity. Carthu's entire channel would have been different. He could have been the biggest anime YouTuber, or
I think I wouldn't have been. At the time, I think niching down was the right idea. I think now YouTube's, again, a bit more flexible on certain things, where a niche is more broadly defined than like the one thing you make. But back then, I really think I would have been cooked.
Or completely fall off. He decided to never take that jump and only posted Dragon Ball content.
This is wrong. So I did make like a handful of My Hero videos. They entirely flopped. And because of that, I stopped. They're actually just privated on my channel, which is, again, he could have found out by asking me. Interview me, people. I'm down. How do you think those interview questions happened in the beginning? I did an interview for a Japanese newspaper I never heard of. All right? I think I'm down to be interviewed.
A character you've been seeing throughout this video was first shown in his 1,000 subscriber special. You'll notice that throughout his career, he actually changed the art style. He also has a background of MMA. That's
again, I said this in the update video, but art for Carthu's Dojo, for basically everything after my initial drawing is sometimes Hector on Twitter. He drew it.
Started from his childhood to late teen.
I did martial arts till I was an adult because I did Kyokushin Karate for 10 years, over 10 years. I taught Kyokushin Karate for a bit in my dojo. My dojo was pretty traditional, so it was very hard to get a black belt. It was a very big ceremony and process.
Carthu has trained for about 8 years, and fighting has always been in his blood. But the character we all know him by has been inspired by Goku in his real life appearance. We know how Goku looks, but who's the man behind that character? 6 months later, Carthu has reached a milestone of 2,000 subscribers, giving him the confidence to do a face reveal. He wanted the world to recognize.
So that's my old hairstyle. You notice I wear my hair down now. I just think you gotta change up your hairstyle once every, I don't know, a certain amount of time. You should change up your hairstyle. If I'm a youngin'
Recognize his face. In the same special video, he even shared his full name for the first time, Jason Graff. That name was
That is my name.
Overshadowed by his online alias, Carthu. This is where a new era begins. Carthu took a small step away from theories and explanation videos. He knew he had more potential, leading to the best decision he made in his entire life. A Dragon Ball What If is a type of video that changes one or more parts of the story, thus leading to different outcomes. Carthu, being a die-hard fan of Dragon Ball, would tremendously help his stories. He understood every character's personality and legitimately mastered how they would respond or react to any outcome. There was no one in the Dragon Ball community who could make a better story. He gained a
I don't think that's true. I think there's plenty of people making great Dragon Ball What Ifs. I think your priorities as a Dragon Ball What If creator, as hyper niche as that is, are different depending on who you are. I think me, Salad, Smugstick, Masako, and many others all have different sensibilities about what we care about and where we are willing to and not willing to go in our what ifs. And that's fine. I think that's completely fine. And it keeps the game fresh, you know? If everyone was just exactly like me, you would get bored of Dragon Ball YouTube, and we'd all fail.
Massive following and averaged hundreds of thousands of views over time. There was a clear skill gap between Carthu and other YouTubers when it came to what ifs. These stories were unique and very entertaining, something that the Dragon Ball community lacked in. Carthu has said,
I wouldn't say that. I think he's glazing too hard. I think there are great people in this community. I have had very few issues with other people in the Dragon Ball community, to be honest. I really think I haven't had issues with people in this community before. I think, generally speaking, this community's been great to me, and I would never say I am superior. I want to really clarify that as this video goes on.
It's a new level of entertainment that pushed every single creator. The beauty of What Ifs for YouTube algorithm is that it continues to get views in the long run. Even after a couple years, Carthu videos were still generating him thousands of dollars every single month. This is just the beginning of the rise.
Thousands of $1,000 per video? That's not true.
On August 24th, 2019, Carthu
per video per month, I should say. That's not true.
Carthu has a total of 50,000 subscribers.
Carthu, and welcome back to the dojo.
we
Old intro.
surpassed the subscriber milestone of 50,000.
To celebrate, he
Yep.
made a what if Carthu was in Dragon Ball. Even with all the success, he was still in college. He decided to finish college and he earned his degree in economics and minors in music and philosophy, which is pretty cool because he had the same major even when he started his channel. For being a relatively small YouTuber, he was doing great.
I don't know if I had the same major when I started my channel. I may have been economics when I started, but I don't know.
Hundreds of thousands of views monthly, but
Old
he
intro.
wasn't
Other
quite
old
there
intro.
to be a full-time content creator. But if everything went downhill, then this was his backup plan. Carthu said himself, he would temporarily move back home while I look for work. I'm a college graduate with a degree in economics with minors in music and philosophy. I could definitely find work, but it may not be as fulfilling, so I'd probably look for something in marketing or production as opposed to purely financial work. Now,
Yeah, I think I'm in a unique spot where now, especially now, having this channel has given me a skill set with proven results that allows me to have a job outside of my degree at this point.
Carthu has made over 100 what ifs.
Also, since this picture here on screen, I think I've lost a decent amount of weight. Sorry, I didn't mean to mog you guys.
And countless theories and explanation videos and all types of Dragon Ball content.
Yeah.
And his rep as a YouTuber is quite impressive. He's known in the community for spreading truthful information and sometimes bad takes.
Don't say that's a bad take.
With his honesty and impressive skills as a YouTuber, his channel had entered a new domain of success. December 31st, 2019, Carthu has gained a total of 77,000 subscribers. Month after month, he's gaining 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 subscribers, and it keeps going up. With a steady pace, he finally reaches 100,000 subscribers on May 4th,
2 days after a 3-year anniversary. Oh, it would have been so tight if I got it 2 days earlier though.
2020. As a reward for the community, he posted a part 2 of What If Carthu Was in Dragon Ball. Here's where it gets scary. His channel started to slow down. It's not that he was posting bad content. The answer is simple. He just needed to wait. Blowing up on YouTube doesn't happen overnight.
I don't know if my channel slowed down right after 100K. I actually am not 100% sure. Maybe a bit, maybe a little bit, but I don't think it was so much that it was scary to me, at least not in a way that I said publicly and not a way that I remember. If I don't remember it and I didn't say it publicly, it probably didn't happen.
I mentioned earlier that Dragon Ball What If videos tend to do extremely well in views over time.
All
Carthu
my
has
videos.
had
Something that hasn't changed for me, all my videos do not do well on release, pretty much, relative to my channel size, and they do pretty well over time, or they'll do well enough over time, which is scary because sometimes you want to post a video and pump up some numbers, and like I said in the update video, make money for my employees to, you know, be able to pay them well and pay myself at the end of the day as well. But yeah, it's one of those weird things where I guess just the type of content I make, it's evergreen. It's not made to be like short-term blow up and, you know, it dies off.
Videos with 30,000 or even 20,000 views, but after a few months, they would skyrocket to 300,000 or even a million. He would continue posting what ifs and never give up. And on the technical side of creating a what if, it requires a lot of video editing.
My ass never touched After Effects, but DaVinci Resolve I do highly recommend to especially new creators because it's free, and if I had known about it when I started, I would have used that instead. Premiere Pro is not worth hacking. It's a piece of shit software. DaVinci Resolve just tends to run a bit better if you're gonna use a high-end editing program at all.
Scripting and professional thumbnails. Over the years, Carthu showed how a video can look like this.
Brat asks where the returning emperor is now. Whis says he's on his ship, only 10 minutes away from where the planet is.
To this.
There's no moon anymore, and even if there was, this is clearly different. His hair changes color and an aura flares around him. Goku quickly grabs the— I wish he showed a video. I will say this is not a video edited by me. This is by my editor, MJ. I do the final edits on all my videos, so technically it's partially edited by me at least, but the majority of these edits are not by me. There are videos that, like, the last video I edited versus, like, that older What If, comparing those I think is kind of staggering. And calls the flying Nimbus. Roshi is astonished. He thinks Goku is still in over his head, but it's possible with this power.
It doesn't take 2 hours to make a video. From personal experience, and even professional editors agree that it can legitimately take 1 or more weeks to create a video. This forced other YouTubers in the—
I'm gonna say it right now, I'm a demon, okay? When I edit a video from scratch, I can get it out quickly. But the process of making my videos, the more important part for me to focus on is always scripting and recording. And because of that, I can't just lock in and edit every video, or else there's no overlapping work. So having an editor allows me to work on the script or multiple scripts and multiple recordings for the next few videos, as opposed to being locked into editing and not doing any writing, which overall, despite it being like potentially a similar amount of time, is just really inefficient. It's why I do believe we could, at some point, we are trying, get to 2 videos a month, but we'll see.
Dragon Ball community to step up their quality, eventually changing the game of YouTube. In 2022, he went from a minimum of 10,000 to peaking around 44,000 subscribers every single month. This was all possible due to YouTube Shorts. With over 2 billion accounts on YouTube, this game is no longer the same. Blowing up is possible for anyone, and yes, even you watching the video. For being a Dragon Ball YouTuber, this guy was making history. And the funny thing—
Fun fact, some compare him to Christopher Columbus because the way he speaks about Dragon Ball is like discovering a new country. How beautiful. I might be the only fan who thinks that, not gonna lie. I am not like Christopher Columbus. Do not ever compare me to that fuck ever again. He was a bad man.
Thing is, it keeps getting better. In 2023, he averaged 25,000 subscribers monthly, and with 20 million views every month. In terms of content, you're probably wondering what he changed, because surely he isn't just posting Dragon Ball. Well, that's not the case. Carthu has been strictly posting Dragon Ball content. Everything he does is honest, entertaining, and the editing compared to the majority of Dragon Ball YouTubers is night and day. For several—
I think Dragon Ball YouTube editing has gotten way better. I think people have stepped up the game, and I'm excited. I think it's great. I'm glad that everybody has locked in and started, making more entertaining stuff. But stuff like this, what I'm doing, right, this like low effort kind of video, I think still has its place on YouTube. It's very authentic. It's just you hanging out with the dude behind the camera.
For months, Carthu has been gaining 30,000 subscribers, eventually leading to the big 1 million mark. He claims that getting 1 million subscribers is going to be his peak because there aren't as many Dragon Ball creators with more subscribers. And also the market or overall Dragon Ball community isn't that large. Now, as I'm making this video, he's at 1.1 million subscribers. It's a matter of time he takes his content to a new level again and surpasses his limits. He prefers quality over quantity. Even with all of his amazing content, a part of his community will always torture him in the comments every single day. He's been declared as the what if guy. No matter what he does, he will never escape the allegations. There will always be one comment saying,
Carthu, make more what ifs. Carthu, make part 287 on what if Goku.
You know who you are. You know.
He was sent to Beerus's planet.
As someone who is a part of Carthu's community, let's keep harassing. Let's let him decide what content he wants to make. And yeah, all I'm saying is after 2 years, he made a what if Kid Goku went Super Saiyan, and it's at 680,000 views. There's one more hit.
Over 1 million now. I will say though, talking about my growth, I think I'm right. My growth has tremendously slowed down this year. Maybe I make some banger videos and it picks up again, but I'm generally growing slower now than compared to last year, which is like the craziest year on YouTube I've ever had. And so I think I will cap out probably around or before 2 million subs. I think that's probably the peak without say a Dragon Ball Super 2 coming out or some crazy anime content that's perpetually adding fans to the fan base. Daima is great, but Daima's only 20 episodes. And if you remember Dragon Ball Super, it took more than 20 episodes for a big chunk of the fan base to actually get involved with the content and get involved with the series and watch it weekly and care about watching videos on YouTube. So I do think I am correct in the long term. I'm not upset about it. I kind of knew this going into being a Dragon Ball YouTuber, that the cap was around 1 million, give or take. I just think it's less than 5 million for sure. And it's probably a hard cap of like 2 million at best. But we'll see. Only time will tell.
Hidden topic about Jason Graff. And is it just me or calling Carthu by his government name seems illegal? And
You should not call me by my full name. That's weird.
anyways, he actually prefers the name Jace. I did some research and came across a few channels. The first channel is Carthu TV. Well, that was his old name. He rebranded to Jace TV. He didn't want to give up his main brand name, but he ended up taking that jump, and it's going to surprise you what happens next.
The thing about Carthu as a name is it's made up. And because Carthu is a made up name that I made up, it unfortunately is now associated with Dragon Ball. Even algorithmically, it is associated with Dragon Ball. So if I post a video that has Carthu anywhere on it, YouTube actually thinks it should recommend that content to Dragon Ball viewers, which is wrong. And so I changed the name to Jace TV. I think a full split of the channels is better, but I already admitted to having a secret stream and secret channel, whatever, in the update video. Though, to be fair, what's actually funny is there was a third rebrand, Mr. President, a third rebrand hit the channel. It's now Jace Online on YouTube as well. So Jace Online is my Twitch channel, as you can see in this frame, but Jace Online is now also the YouTube channel, so the branding is consistent for that front.
Even with not having the Carthu name, he's been posting videos of Kirby, Mario, Pokemon, and really a lot of Nintendo games. He's a Dragon Ball fan at heart, but there's still plenty of room for his other passions. Jace said that his other channel are purely passion-driven videos, and they stand out as his favorites. Similar to the upcoming of Carthu Dojo, his second channel is something he loves to do. And
I will say, I do have favorite videos that are on Carthu's Dojo. Again, I talked about this recently. How to Kill Goku is one of my favorite videos I've ever made. And so videos like that hold a place in my heart for sure.
Even more than his original Carthu Dojo channel. He's even said that he has other goals and wants to expand his horizons.
True.
Jace is making his dream a reality again, with many videos over 100,000, 200,000, and even 1 million views. It's only a matter of time he blows up. He uses this channel to be his true self. At the end of the day, he's human who has other passions. And also, he streams himself playing games on Twitch and sometimes YouTube.
Man, our followers are way up from there. That's nice. Not like crazy up from there, but bit. Subs are definitely up from there on Jace Online.
He streams Kirby, Mario Kart, Mario Party Superstars, World of Warcraft, Elden Ring, and even Tetris, and really playing most of the games he grew up with. One final secret about Carthu is his other channel. Its name is Carthu. Similar to Jace TV, he posted videos on Pokemon and Zelda. He's gained a total of 16,000 subscribers with 3 videos. Unfortunately,
I should go back to that channel at some point. I talk about it all the time. My editor for Jace Online said he would love to help edit videos for that channel, so maybe one day. But right now, the focus is on Carthu no Dojo, Carthu's Dojo, and Jace Online. Let's keep it a little realistic about what I can do in a day.
365 days ago was his last video. If Carthu hadn't taken that initial risk all those years ago, if he decided to give up because he wasn't blowing up or he wasn't earning enough money, he would have never been able to become one of the greatest of all time. And perhaps more importantly, he never would have changed the Dragon Ball community.
All right, and that's the video. Not entirely crazy wrong, but you know, just reach out for interviews if you're making a video about me. All right, see you later.